Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Nox. I am joined here by Spicy, and up in this set, we're going to have a Div 3 game between KSU WildSharks and versus the Tiger Sharks.
Super excited to broadcast this matchup of the Battle of the Sharks. We have two experienced teams, both playing in CCA last season and in various tournaments before that as well.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see these college teams really starting to have identities, other than just Purdue, who was the only one carrying the torch for such a long time there. It's so great to see how much, especially with the start of Splatoon 3, the scene has just managed to grow and change.
Exactly, yeah. As someone who just jumped into CCA last season, I'm super excited to see all the new teams coming in, see a bunch of schools, both big and small, jump into the scene, and just seeing the collegiate scene grow exponentially.
Yeah, and so we're going to be starting off here on Splat Zone's Hagglefish. And I will say, with both teams having chargers, I would expect them to be coming out in full force here.
Oh, for sure, yeah. One thing I'm really interested to see is if KSU brings in that Z plus F charger that just dropped with the new season. Having that triple ink strike, having that splash wall to support and paint could be really interesting here on this map.
Yeah, King pulling that out could make such a huge difference. But no, we are going to see that E-Leader. E-Leader does have really great range for this map. We are seeing Splash, T-Tech, Machine, nothing too out of the ordinary there. But we are seeing a Rapid coming out from Retrograde, not a weapon that we see all that often. Definitely will be exciting. Gotta love seeing that Slosher come out. So they're double trip strike, which means that the zone should be pretty easy for them to cap once they're able to get in, because otherwise they are very low paint without those trip strikes.
Of course, yeah. Less than 15 seconds in, we already see a Crab Tank out on the side of the Tiger Sharks, now just trying to paint the zone, and they capped it after KSU already took the zone in a really fast manner.
Yeah, KSU did a great job there of taking full advantage of the fact that they can hold such great distances and spaces and just use that range they have. While both teams do have that E-Leader, overall, they definitely have better range. The Tiger Sharks definitely have a little bit more range to work with here.
For sure, yeah. You see the specials come out on the side of the WildSharks. They're going to do their best right now to keep the zone, maintain pressure, and try and take this lead right now. You see both teams have a lot of people out there. A Crab Tank on the side of the Tiger Sharks, and E-Leader from the E-Leader point of view, just try to maintain that pressure.
Yeah, both E-Leaders have just been keeping a close eye on zone this whole time, trying to find their picks. I don't think either of them have, but they're definitely exerting a lot of pressure just by existing. And E-Leader also puts out pretty decent paint for being a charger. Definitely does more than like a traditional vanilla splatter scope. But we are seeing 2 down on the Tiger Sharks here. We might expect to see the KSU WildSharks starting to move up a little bit. And they are, as the trip strikes come out, forcing them back again.
Yep, and with that, we can see maybe the Tiger Sharks look to take the zone back. It's an even 3-3 matchup right now. The zone's close. There's a pick right there on the 3-2 situation. And KSU takes back the zone, making it. There's a pick on the E-Leader right there.
Yeah, and we are seeing KSU doing a great job here, moving up, taking up this space, not letting the fact that they have the advantage slow them down. They are fully taking advantage of all the space that Tiger Sharks has given up to them. And that is so key in Splatoon, to just make sure you utilize every ounce of space you can get. You don't want to give up anything, and that was a great shark there from Carbine. Carbine I have seen around the comp scene for what feels like a very long time. It could be a different Carbine, but if it's the one I'm thinking of, they've been around for forever, and it's great to see them playing in college.
And as that happens, we see the Tiger Sharks take back the zone. They're going to try to make pressure happen right now. We're going to look to see them push up, take that pick, beautiful pick on the sloshing machine right there. We're going to see the E-Leader try and make some moves happen, preserve this lead. Look at them push up, try and take the zone, try to lock out KSU from making a comeback happen.
Yeah, we're seeing really great usage of splat bombs here by the Slosher, knowing exactly how to take out that crab. And we are seeing trip strikes and wave breaker coming out, really having to use all of those specials to try and get back into zone as the Tiger Sharks have it ticking down. And we are seeing that Booyah Bomb coming out, able to take out the Slosher, which means that they have full control of this zone. Again, Tiger Sharks were not able to take lead, and KSU WildSharks are able to start really moving up here, able to take out that E-Leader, having to back a bit. Nobody really backing up the machine there, as they are forced back. But they did manage to get that cap, which is what they really wanted in that situation.
And as that happens, they lose control of the zone, and looks like the Tiger Sharks are going to try and get back the zone, try and cut into this lead here. They're not able to do it yet. Gotta try and see what happens. We have the 1v1 between the Rapid Blaster and the Sloshing Machine. Sloshing Machine does take that though.
Yeah, Sloshing Machine just doing a great job there of managing to distract that Rapid, able to keep them from poking at their teammates, allowing them to really get this forward momentum going. As we're seeing Carbine and Fear really moving up onto that plat area, backing off a little now, getting those specials. We have Trip Strike at the ready. They are looking for a good opportunity to utilize these specials and just really hold this zone. They have Trip Strike out, Crabs are down, and that is going to likely be game as the WildSharks are able to just hold on to this zone by the skin of their teeth.
Yep. One last push from the Tiger Sharks just wasn't able enough to make that happen. And now we see a good win already to start off the set.
Yeah, if Tiger Sharks had made that happen a quarter second sooner, it seems like they would have actually had it. But those Trip Strikes just weren't quite fast enough to outpaint the really high paint comp that the WildSharks have.
Exactly, yeah. So, from a Tiger Shark perspective, what do you think they have to do going into the second game on tower control on Sturgeon Shipyard?
Well, I do think tower control will actually work a little better for them. They need to worry about paint less. And while TC does have a lot of elements where it works like zones, you want to control the space around the tower really tightly and neatly. It's way more mobile. And I think that might work out a bit better for them, especially on a map like Sturgeon, where a weapon like Rapid can do so well with the areas it can poke and the ledges it can hit.
For sure, yeah. We typically see the blasters come out in tower control, so this maybe having this come out now, this will be the change of pace that Tiger Sharks need to get back into the set.
Yeah, I definitely think that they still might want to add a bit more paint to their comp. It seems like they were having a hard time allowing themselves enough mobility, having a hard time keeping enough paint at their feet to win the fights they wanted to win. But that could also be just pairing up a little differently and spacing better and stuff like that. And yeah, TC Sturgeon is definitely a map mode we've seen a ton of throughout the years in Splatoon. It's one we've had since S2. Definitely a map where chargers tend to do very well. Anything that pokes tends to do really well on this map. You want to make sure that you either have bombs or weapons that can poke areas really well, displacing people, getting them in spots they really don't want to be in.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Especially with all the different places for like chargers to perch up on. Having that ability to control so much space on this map is going to be vital to winning or losing this match up here.
Yeah, and we are seeing an interesting comp coming out here from the Tiger Sharks. Definitely still very low paint, which is not what you would expect to see after that kind of game. They're definitely going to struggle a bit with that because the Nautilus and the Slosher and the Range Blaster all kind of need paint, so that Slash is going to need to be on top of that. And we are seeing a 96 Deco come out. 96 Deco has that wall and Kraken, so we are going to see a Kraken on tower control. Which, bear in mind, Kraken is an invincibility special. If you are on that tower with it, it is just 3 points. Carbine doing a great job here, moving up into mid. Able to get that pick, really just controlling so much space with that range the 96 gal has. Does eventually go down, but they did allow their team to clear that first checkpoint.
Yep, and that's really powerful for them right there. You see that KSU has that 96 Deco. Having that Kraken is going to be such an interesting thing for them to see because the Kraken just sits on tower, able to get 3 points, and it's going to be super interesting going into this season, seeing how the 96 fits into this metagame now.
Yeah, 96 is definitely very strong. We are seeing this Range Blaster being able to move up some here as the Tiger Sharks are able to start moving forward. We are looking for them getting these specials ready. They want to have these specials ready for this push. They don't want to pop them until they absolutely have to, but the Range Blaster has gone down, which is very unfortunate. They really wanted to start making a push here, and having one person less is going to be rough. But they do have that Crab Tank to start getting them moving. Another has gone down, though. Kraken's out. Kraken's going to be able to take out that Splash, probably no, going for the Range Blaster instead. And they are using every resource they have to try and stop this tower, but not quite able to stop them from breaking the checkpoint, as everyone is just playing cleanup now, clearing out the last of the Tiger Sharks, and starting to get back into mid.
And you saw that Kraken come in, and even on defense, it has the ability to just like eat up like any special you want. The triple egg strike, not a problem if you're a Kraken. Just have that invincibility, able to just eat right through it, force everything off the tower.
Yeah, it's a very interesting special. It's very interesting to have an invincibility special fully back in the game. And we are seeing the KSU WildSharks target through here, trying to do what they can to stop this. Great job using the vacuum there to counter the Crab. The Tiger Sharks has 2 players down, so they're going to want to. So the KSU WildSharks are going to want to start moving forward here. Armed living that trip strike they did think would get them, admittedly. Nautilus down. It is just an all-out skirmish right now, just for people trying to get back into mid.
Absolutely right now, and controlling mid in like any game mode is just super important. Having being able to control all that space around the front and the back is going to be crucial to winning the game despite that. And all of a sudden, it's a massive numbers advantage for the Tiger Sharks. They're going to be able to make this push, see how far they're able to go with it.
Yeah, and they are both at the same checkpoint, so they very well could get lead here, especially with all of the specials coming out. Crab not quite able to find any picks, but has slowed people down getting in a lot, and as I say that, they do manage to take out the charger. Crab is just so good at that, and this is going to be a huge push here from the Sharks. There is just one up, it is the T-Tech. They are probably looking for that special, but they don't have anyone on tower right now. Blaster goes back to get it. And we are seeing the Nautilus trade that Blaster for tower as they are just moving forward, using those wave breakers, using everything they have to just get as many points as they can. They might be able to get this next checkpoint, and they are, and this might be game.
Yep, and you see the range blaster putting in the work, being able to put all those pokes, especially behind cover. All this is a very powerful weapon on tower control, and you're seeing the Tiger Sharks use this weapon to great advantages right here.
As we say that, though, the WildSharks are able to get back into mid here. They're starting to really paint up. And as they paint up, the Kraken is coming out, going for this pick on the splash, and just starting to really move forward here and really take control. Kraken managing to back out in time, going to throw down a splash wall, keep themselves alive, and just ensure that they have everything at their disposal that they possibly can for this next push, because there's only about a minute and a half left in this game.
Yep, and with a minute and a half to go, it's going to be really important to see like how each team makes the most out of every single push and make the most out of their defensive holds right here. As we see the KSU WildSharks, they're going to try and make this push happen right now. They only have 2 up right now, though. Make that only 1 up, even though if it's Splashmatic with the crowd, they're probably not going to be able to do enough to make the push happen here.
Yeah, in this situation, you really tend to want to jump out just as they did, because it allows you to at least have that special ready, regroup with your teammates, and play it a little bit safer. As they are able to take out that slosher, this is the start of something they really need to happen. They have 1 push left, essentially. In theory, too, but it's probably just 1 as the splash goes down with that Crab Tank. Crab Tank out on the side of Tiger Sharks. This is a really rough situation for the WildSharks. Not going to be able to do a ton here without getting some really solid picks, and they just don't have the resources to do it right now.
For sure, and with 30 seconds left in the game and the tower pretty much at neutral, KSU doesn't have a lot of time left. They have to make something happen right now. You see the Kraken come out now, have it for the offense, goes right through the triple ink strike as we've been saying, being able to make all those pushes happen. Not able to get much else out for that though, as sad as it is.
Yeah, they were trying to use it to break into mid to allow their teammates to path in, but they couldn't quite find the picks they wanted from it. The thing with Kraken is that it's really a selfish special unless you manage to find the picks. It can't do much for you without those picks, but that is a great pick from Carbine. They just need to get on the tower, but they're not able to beat the splash to it, and that is game to the Tiger Sharks.
What a great game from the Tiger Sharks to even it up right there. We saw that they seem very comfortable on tower control, especially on this map, having that blaster to get all those picks, get all those covers. They just seem to play very coordinated, do all the right things there. Really good set, and now all of a sudden, it's an even set once again.
Yeah, we are essentially back to game 1, more or less, in terms of how everyone's having to think through things. They are both on completely equal footing, and they are just going to be trying to duke it out here to figure out what they can do to one-up the other team, because we've definitely seen that they both have preferred modes. The Tiger Sharks definitely are going to feel more comfortable on those modes that tend to favor spacing and poking, whereas the WildSharks seem to handle all-out aggression a little bit better, typically. So maybe Rainmaker's going to favor them a little bit more.
For sure, yeah, Rainmaker's a personal favorite mode of mine, and seeing what happens here on Rainmaker could be really interesting. The teams seem very even overall throughout the set, so if we do go to a Game 7 situation, Game 7 is on Rainmaker. So this next game could be very telling of what could be happening the rest of the set.
Yeah, Rainmaker Hammerhead is also a very unique map mode with how narrow it is. It's a map where both of these teams have 52 gal players, but also that 96 deco, where that wall can be so useful and so instrumental in anything you want to do. Because when you're trying to push, there's such a narrow space for you to get through. And on top of that, if you are using the 52 gal, Whale is so good at helping you just force space to move in. It won't get you the picks that you want necessarily, but it will force everyone into awkward positions where if you have a longer range weapon, they can just poke and annoy them until they go away. Especially with a weapon like the sloshing machine, like we saw from that first game from the WildSharks.
For sure, yeah. And in a mode like Rainmaker, positioning can be super important because, like, as fast as the mode is, if you're out of position, it could be even more devastating on Rainmaker to have to catch up to like where the Rainmaker is, where the rest of the team is. If you're out of position, that could be devastating for the rest of your team.
Yeah, and Hammerhead is a very fast map if you get a wipe. It is very much a map that can drag on if you don't. But once there is a wipe, you can just rush forward so efficiently. It's not to any degree of like what Manta does, but Manta's its own separate class, even in 3 of how fast Rainmaker can go.
Yep, that's for sure. We're going to see potentially a really fast game or a really long, drawn-out stalling game. So it's going to be really exciting to see going into Game 3 of this set.
And we are
CCA.
seeing a Hydra and a Squeezer coming out. Not weapons that we see all that often, and a Bamboo coming out from the WildSharks here. Bamboo going to be able to take advantage of that whale really well, but they are going to be challenged heavily by that Hydra and Squeezer. Definitely going to give them a lot of trouble with their range. The WildSharks are going to have to rely a lot on poking with those bombs and playing really safely, especially since that Bamboo is running Respawn Punisher, and it seems that one has gone down to pop.
Yep, alright. You see that KSU is opting to run a really fast comp right here, having that Bamboo, having that Sloshing Machine as like their longer range weapons here. Instead of trying to fight that long range game against the Hydra, they're going to try and maybe play more aggressive, which is the spitting of their playstyle so far.
Yeah, and we are seeing that C Junior go down. That is 2 down. They should start moving up here. It is just that Squeezer. Somebody needs to grab the rein. Somebody did. And that Bamboo is doing a great job of moving up with their teammates, helping get those picks, and just applying so much pressure. We are seeing the machine having to go back and pop Rainmaker. Not necessarily who you'd expect to do that. T-Tech grabbing. Did have Tri-Strike ready when they did it, though, which is a bit unfortunate. Not something you want to do to them.
Yep, as we say, that KSU is already over past the halfway point here. They're, with only the Hydra standing, but what can they do here? They might be able to make a really fast push right here, end this game quick. As they already see the suction bomb, able to force them out, and they lose the Rainmaker right there. Good flank from the WildSharks.
Yeah, there was also a lot of hesitation there from the WildSharks in terms of how they were getting in, and that is a great call on that find by the shark by the Tiger Sharks. Ooh, there's too many sharks in that sentence.
Too many sharks, yeah.
And we were seeing Trip Strike coming out here, a great special for moving people out of position. Lots of heavy displacement specials in Splatoon 2. Splatoon 3. Ooh. And we see the Splash managed to get a great 2 down there as they are trying to really move forward fast after this checkpoint.
Yep. Tiger Sharks already have that checkpoint now, so they can make a push right happen if they get the numbers advantage. They do not, though, as they have 3 down right now. They're going to leave the Rainmaker just trying to reset it, looks like. Yep, Rainmaker resets, and we're going to see a big numbers advantage so far from Kansas State. Going to look to take that Rainmaker maybe, start making that push happen. They have the Booyah Bomb ready. Going to see maybe to pop it eventually.
Yeah, we also have that Whale ready, so this should be a lot of specials coming out, forcing, once again, a lot of displacement. Not necessarily specials that look a ton for kills, but allow you to get in with things like this machine to really get them. Hydra going down is huge for them. It is just that Squeezer up. Bamboo is probably going to grab the Rainmaker here as the machine wants to hold forward and really start helping get those picks, but the Trizuka really stopping them from popping it quite as quickly as they wanted to, so they're going to have to hold off on this push for a bit and really just try and stall it out. But anytime you have the Rainmaker on their side of the map, it's always a benefit to your side.
Yep, beautiful play from the Squeezer in that 1v3 situation to have the Trizuka to put that long range pressure so KSU couldn't take that Rainmaker and make a push, putting a splash ball up so that they couldn't make any wrap options happen either. And all of a sudden, 3v3, Rainmaker's back in neutral with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, Tiger Shark's doing a great job here of starting to move up. Fear on this not Fear. The Squeezer here trying to get forward, trying to get that Tri-Strike at the ready again. The Junior has gone down. Not a player you necessarily want to go down early, but they did at least get out that Wave Breaker to apply some additional pressure for their teammates. Seems like they're going to try and get this pick on Carbine. Not quite able to find it. Crab coming out from Carbine. Does manage to take out the Rainmaker. Carbine manages to back off safely, even though they were in that Crab. And we are seeing KSU just really collapsing in here on mid and able to do so much damage. Fear taking full advantage of these fizzy bombs, and it looks like they might be able to get another little bit of a push in. A common philosophy with Rainmaker is as long as you're moving forward, they can't push. You don't necessarily need more points.
Yep, and KSU is just continuously winning these team fights, and you can see how often they're able to make these pushes happen because they're winning each of these neutral exchanges here. Even though Rainmaker can be a very fast-paced game, having that opportunity to just win the little interaction is going to be enough to take this lead right now and put a lot of pressure on the Tiger Sharks to have to make a push with 1 minute to go.
Yeah, it seems like KSU is definitely relying on the concept of as long as I'm pushing you or not. They're not even necessarily going for bigger points. They just want it on the Tiger Sharks half of the map, so they feel in danger, which makes them more likely to feed in one at a time. The more scared you are, the more likely you are to make mistakes. The more pressure you feel, the better for the other team, essentially.
Exactly, yeah, and especially from the point of view of the Tiger Sharks, who are running a slightly slower comp in terms of having that Hydra, having the 30 shooters then, they're not able to make those big pushes without the numbers advantage, so it's going to be critical for them to start getting these picks, make these moments count. But as the Hydra picks up the Rainmaker, they're going to try to make a push here with 25 seconds to go. You see the triple ink strike happen, and they're managed to get one off on the triple. Oh my gosh, and they get almost there. Takes it to the 42 with 15 seconds to go.
And we have Trip Strike ready on the side of this T-Tech here, but they probably should have grabbed the Rainmaker rather than going through the Trip Strikes. It seems to be working out for them so far, but that is a risky maneuver. Trip Strikes do manage to take out the Rainmaker. There's 3 down, and it's just the Junior up, and this should be game to the WildSharks.
Gonna seal the deal.
Really great use of Trip Strikes there by the T-Tech, but a little more risky than I would have preferred to see in that situation, probably.
For sure, yeah, but hey, it gets KSU the win, and that's all they're looking for right now. They're probably, you could tell the nerves are starting to kick in from Tiger Sharks being able to take that Rainmaker push and make one last desperation push, taking it to within 5 points of the lead. All we could have known, had one more move happened, Tiger Sharks could be up 2-1 instead.
Yeah, Rainmaker is definitely a mode where you can never feel too comfortable unless you've knocked out. There is always a chance that the other team can manage to pull something off. At the end of a Rainmaker game, you probably should play it pretty cautiously. You really want to make sure you're not going anyone down, and you want to make sure that you have those specials ready if you are the team with the lead. Unless you think you can get the KO. In which case, I mean, maybe go for it, but maybe play it safe. Playing it safe tends to work decently well in Rainmaker.
Oh, yep, especially in like the last 30 seconds, last minute. Really, if you're not in a position to go for a knockout, playing it safe can just be the decision that ends up winning the game for you, instead of giving the other team that one last chance to make that push.
Yes, because that very easily could have gone very terribly for KSU there. And next up, we are going to be going on to Clamblitz Scorch Gorge. What are your thoughts on this map?
So I think Clamblitz Scorch Gorge has a lot of interesting potential here, having that middle right there for a lot of potential to pick people off just in case on defense, pick people off for some offensive pressure. I think in general, especially at this division of CCA, Clamblitz has the potential for a lot of really amazing, really hyped team play, and this mode definitely requires the most coordination from both teams on offense and on defense.
Yeah, I love Clamblitz in a competitive setting. It is absolutely a nightmare in a solo queue setting because you can't coordinate like that. So these teams, having been able to play together for as long as they have, should actually give them a bit of a leg up over most of the other teams that we see in CCA. They have so much established time with each other at this point, which is awesome to see. Do you expect that we'll see any big weapon changes coming out this game?
I don't know if we will see anything, but I do think we're going to be seeing the 96 Gal Deco come out. We've seen Kraken come out a lot in solo queue, especially just being able to get the ball, go to the goal. Once it goes off, just throw the ball in, and that's some easy points right there. We might start seeing that from both teams just to get those free points.
We might. It feels a lot like baller pushes in Splatoon 2 during that point of the meta, which is unfortunate. Not something I love to see. Works even a little bit, well, in some ways it works better, and in some ways it works worse than baller pushes. I think it works better if you're jumping in to the Kraken, but since there is so much end lag before you can really throw that clam in, I think you are more likely to go down since you can't get shredded like you could with baller and just get to throw it in a little bit as a treat, you know? And we are seeing that 96 deco coming out here, but this time from the Tiger Sharks, which is a difference from the last time that we saw it come out.
Exactly, yeah. We did not know the Tiger Sharks would have a 96 come out in their roster, at least right now, based on what we had given to us. But it's going to be really interesting to see what they have go for us.
Yeah, definitely a great machine map, so I think that will work out well for KSU. As we are seeing that 96 Scout trying to hold down this mid, T-Tech does go down. That is right now the map in favor of the Tiger Sharks. But with Clamblitz especially, you don't necessarily want to move forward super quickly. You want to take all the space that's given to you, but overextending without having a power clam ready can be really rough, as we're seeing right now as they go 2 down. And the KSU WildSharks might be able to move back in here, but no, not quite. Ely trying to find the pick on this Slosher, but not quite able to yet, as the Slosher is just maneuvering so well around the stage.
Exactly, you love to see that movement from the Slosher, just being able to make use of the multitude of movement options in this game. Being able to just move around, have that fast-paced movement, especially in a game like Splatoon and in a mode like Clamblitz, being able to move, especially when your team has the ball and need to pick up those clams, it's going to be super important as the Tiger Sharks have that ball ready, going to possibly make a push once they get that advantage going.
But they probably won't be able to, as Crap has just come out, applying a ton of pressure into mid here, really slowing them down as their 96 deco goes down, which will make it way harder for them to get in. They're pretty reliant on that. And the splash goes down. E-Leader looking for a chance to move forward here, finally able to find it as the rest of their teammates move up, and that is a 2-down situation. They should be able to make a power fairly soon, but there is a flank from that Slosher. They are able to get one, and that is going to be that push done, as the E-Leader is going to have to back up here.
Yep, and that was some amazing defense on the end of the Tiger Sharks right there. Despite having that numbers disadvantage, they were able to regroup quickly, move up towards the base, and moves up towards the goal, and just shut down any chance for KSU to make that push and get that early advantage here.
Yeah, but we're also seeing great defense coming out from KSU here as they are able to keep their space even after they got wiped. They got almost wiped there. And we are seeing Wavebreaker almost at the ready here. A great pick from the E-leader. And we are starting to see them trying to move forward again, having to fight tooth and nail to get back into mid.
Yep, with 2 mids down, neither team has scored, but it's going to be really interesting to see which team draws that first blood, able to get those first points. You see the E-leader have a number of clams already. Each team's going to try to build clams, get that one chance to have that, get the points to break.
I will say that I think that Kraken might struggle a bit in mid on this map. Because of all the verticality, and we are seeing somebody trying to set up a clam jump, I believe. Seems like they are going to be able to, but they are going to go down in the process. So this will be a push to 80, which will give the other team a pity clam. Doesn't seem like there's going to be able to be a ton of follow-up from it, as all 4 members of the Tiger Sharks are still up, but there is a Booyah Bomb coming out. We are seeing the machine try to get in with a couple. We're seeing the T-Tech try to. Splash manages to almost get one in, but has to jump out. Really great jump out there by Carbine, not overcommitting to that push and able to get out. And now their goal is going to be to push Tiger Sharks out of mid and reclaim this area.
Yep. So far, the name of the game this round has just been defense. Both teams have been able to minimize any pushes from happening, and even from that one push we just saw, they weren't able to get anything besides those initial 20. If that's going to be the name of the game, we're going to be in for a potentially a long one here.
Yeah, I will say we are not at risk of 8-minute overtime game, which is always nice. And we are seeing the E-leader getting picked off here. Although the WildSharks don't have enough clams to make a huge push, they do have 1 power clam ready. That is enough to get them 10 more points on the board and right away if they manage to get it in. But they are playing this smart, waiting for them to have more specials online, not taking any unnecessary risks as these trip strikes are coming out. On the other hand, the Tiger Sharks don't have any clams ready, so they're just trying to get mid here, trying to figure out a way to move. As I believe this is the Splash, is hanging out on this wall, waiting for a good opportunity to get this flank off. But the Kraken comes out.
Oh, and you see the wipe come out on the end of KSU. This is going to be a really interesting situation for the Tiger Sharks. Will they build up a ball, they get the score, and all of a sudden, and they take the lead right now. This is going to be really dangerous, especially with how strong, deep defensively both teams have been. Each little advantage is going to be super big going into this last 45 seconds.
Yeah, WildSharks now starting to move forward. Carbine able to do a great job here of playing some cleanup. That is almost a wipe. They just need to get this splash out of there. So now their goal is to reclaim mid. This is not a huge lead to need to get. It is essentially 2 powers in 1 little clan. It is not impossible to do by any means, but they need to play it smart. They need to not rush. It is so hard to not rush in situations like this. All you want to do is try and force your way in, and it does not work like that in Splatoon. But they are doing it anyway, and it's working.
You see a wipe come out on the end of KSU. Will this be enough though? They need clams in order to make this happen. Only 9 seconds to go. They see the 55, 52. They take the lead now. Is it gonna be enough? It looks like it's gonna be forced to this amazing situation. Good play right there from KSU.
Yeah, definitely not a push that I would have necessarily expected to work. And now you're going to see the Tiger Sharks quickly reclaiming mid here, trying to get their specials online. They're almost to that trip strike, and they are able to get a clam in right away. They have a jump ready. This will be game to Tiger Sharks.
And that was an amazing turnaround in the last like 30 seconds of that game. You just see Constant trying to make that one push happen. That's all they were looking for right there. Both teams were very much aware. You just need to get that one push, get that little point. It was a very close game. It was just a little bit of offense from each team that ended up deciding it.
Yeah. Splatoon is definitely a game about getting that one good push. You don't need to KO, you just need that one great push. It doesn't need to be anything more than that usually, and that is 2-2 in this set so far.
And all of a sudden, this set is coming down to a best of 3. We're going to end up going back to Splat Zones, this time on Brindwater Springs. What do you think we're going to be seeing here then?
I do think we'll be seeing that E-leader coming back out from both sides. It is such a great E-leader map. Would not surprise me if somebody switched to a scoped on this map, just because there are actually a couple shots you can only hit with scoped leader on this map. I would love to see the Rapid come back here. I think it can do really well on the stage. I expect to see the Machine come back out. I don't expect many changes out of KSU in general, actually. I expect their comp to stay relatively similar. It seems like they're pretty comfortable with it. 96 Deco might come back out here from Tiger Sharks. They seemed pretty comfy with it. It seemed to work really well for them. Allowed them a bit more paint. Kraken allowed them a lot of mobility, but they might not want that here, as it doesn't necessarily help you keep the zone as well.
And now we're coming down to just a best of 3 situation. It's gonna be really interesting to see how both these teams go into this. So like, it's a very close game. It's been back and forth each time. So like, being able to maintain that poise, maintain that neutral state of mind, being able to stay calm, level-headed. It's gonna be very important to see how both of these experienced teams go into this really tight situation.
Yeah, I will also point out that they're essentially in a best of 3 set at this point. Like, there are 3 games left that decide this. They are completely tied up right now.
Yep, exactly. I'm very happy we got a absolute banger of a set so far on this Sunday in Splatoon. I'm really excited to see how we go into Brine Water right now, and I'm just excited to see some more amazing gameplay from both teams.
Yeah, both teams have been playing so well. Definitely been some pushes I wouldn't have expected to work the way they did. But that's a lot of what we're seeing in this level of gameplay right now. It's really fun to watch. It's really interesting to see everyone experimenting with different weapons and just trying to puzzle together what works best for their team.
Yep, and in week 1 of CCA, the first week of the season, this is definitely the time to start experimenting before you have to go into those playoff pushes, those playoff implications. This is the time to have to figure out what works and try it in actual game setting.
Yeah, and we are seeing a Tri Nouveau come out. Not what I was expecting, but will allow them to play really aggressively if they keep getting that tacticooler off. And we are seeing E-leaders coming out from both sides, like I said. We are seeing a Forge Pro come out and a Blaster, which means that they will be pretty low paint. Tri able to get a pick. That is 2 down already on the side of Tiger Sharks. E-leader does manage to take one out, though.
Yep, and all of a sudden KSU's got an early lead. They're going to be have the crab tank position up in the middle, just able to apply so much pressure from the zone right there as Tiger Sharks put their own crab tank right there and gets a pick off on KSU.
Yeah, Tiger Shark's doing a great job here of capitalizing on that space they created. That crab tank really saving them and allowing them to get in way faster than they would have been otherwise. Blaster getting a great pick there. Try managing to trade too, which is a fantastic situation for them. And we are seeing them just moving forward here. Everybody just kind of skirmishing. Carbine doing a great job pairing up with their teammate. Able to cap this zone, probably, but not quite. Didn't take full advantage of the fact that Booyah Bomb was going off, but they do manage to recap. Splash does go down. Trip Strikes coming out from that T-Tech. Tri goes down, but the Tri is gonna go down. They play the skirmish role in this comp. They aren't necessarily thinking about survival all the time.
Yep, exactly. And it's been the name of the game this entire set. This entire thing has been back and forth. Even already, KSU now has only one up with the Tri-Slosher. This is time for the Tiger Sharks to make this push happen. You see the bubble position up closer to their spawn. They're gonna get one right there. They take the lead, and there's a pick on there. But now it's up to KSU to try and reposition themselves, get the zone, and they still have quite a lot of time to do this. So.
Yeah, KSU doing a great job here of not rushing in, not overextending, not taking any unnecessary risks. I will say I am surprised the Tiger Sharks didn't try and push up a little further with how much of a wipe they had. They had a lot of space they probably could have capitalized on, but they just didn't. Great pick there from the T-Tech. That is a full wipeout onto the Tiger Sharks. We're going to see the WildSharks be able to take great advantage of this if they want to.
Yep,
Especially with that tacticooler out.
Yep, and we've seen the WildSharks thrive in these aggressive situations with their ability to win these team fights. Being able to put so much offensive pressure, especially this close to their spawn, it's going to be really interesting to see if they're able to keep this pressure up and maintain the zone. You see the pick from the E-leader onto that Tri-Slosher, and all of a sudden, the Booyah Bomb comes out. Is it going to be enough? It breaks the zone. Breaks the zone into the up. And KSU is now back with the zone and forces Tiger Sharks into a penalty situation.
Yeah, really great job there from Tiger Sharks of getting KSU out. Not quite able to do it fast enough, and that is a 2-down situation again for Tiger Sharks. As we see KSU moving in off of this, taking advantage of those picks their E-leader seems to be getting plenty of right now, and just fully moving up, chasing the Splash all the way back, not wanting them to get that crab tank out again. They do have it ready, but the Tri along with their teammates' help is able to take them right out. And they are moving forward here, just managing to keep this zone, taking advantage of those sub-weapons. One thing KSU is doing so well is using their sub-weapons to make sure that they keep this zone and keep them out of the zone as much as they can. They are running all of these great sub-weapons, and it's awesome to see them taking advantage of it.
Exactly, and the use of sub-weapons is often what wins or loses games for like teams, especially in a game and a team that are as evenly matched as this. Being able to utilize your subs, utilize your specials, get those wipes, as we've seen KSU get time and time again. They're winning these fights. They're going to push up, get that lead. Going to now just hold for the next 10 on the count. They're going to go 8, 7, 6. They're going to be able to get one more defensive push here to get to the zone. And it looks like, yep, KSU gets the win, wins in game 5, and now there's one winner away from winning this set.
Yeah, KSU at game point here. They did such a great job of taking advantage of that tacticooler. It's not a special that we're seeing as much as everyone thought during the initial test fire that it would be broken. We were all a little wrong on that one. We were all a little off on what we thought Tacticooler would be, but it's definitely still a very strong special that enables you to get into places so well, and I think it pairs really well with Tri, and Tri having Fizzy Bomb is just such a great thing. I do expect that we might start seeing a bit more Tri-Slosher because of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Tacticooler especially was often relegated to simply just being a Rainmaker special, just being able to help with the Rainmaker carrier. But seeing that usage from from the new Tri-Slosher, having the Tacticooler to help their team win these team fights, push up on these advantages, brings a whole new layer to this metagame now.
I will say that TC Flounder is probably going to throw both teams for a loop. Flounder doesn't play like any other map in the game. Usually players will have specific weapons they play only on Flounder. It's even going back to S1. In S1, you would see Charger players switch over to Carbon for it. It is a map mode that throws people for a loop. It is not one that comes naturally. It is not one that feels fluid. It does seem like from how quickly they readied up that KSU is probably going to be sticking with a somewhat similar comp. But the Tiger Sharks seem to be thinking about it a bit because they know this is match point for KSU. They know KSU wants this. They both want it so much. And they don't want KSU to feel they want this to go to a Game 7. The Tiger Sharks want the Game 7 here. They want to be able to pull this back.
Yep, exactly. And it being the first week of the season, you want to start off your season on the right foot, getting that first win. Both these teams really want to get this win in the first week of the season just to breed a lot of momentum going into the rest of their season.
Yeah. Just like how you have momentum within game in Splatoon, there is also definitely a mental momentum that you can get from winning tournaments like this. You want to be able to maintain that positive attitude, and that's easier to do if you're winning. It's not impossible to do if you're losing, but it's way easier to do if you are winning.
For sure, yeah. Being able to have those win streaks, it's always easier to play when you're in front as opposed to playing from behind. But now Tiger Sharks are going to be entering this Game 6, playing from behind, needing this game to stay alive in this set.
Yeah, and we are seeing the rapid deco coming out. Inkjet's definitely very good on this map. Same comp as usual out of WildSharks. But there is not a lot of paint coming out here again from Tiger Sharks, and that might work out okay because this is Rainmaker. But it is going to make it way rougher for them to quickly navigate those walls. This is a map that is typically regarded as a playground for fast-paced, high-paint weapons. So it's interesting to see them not really pulling them out here.
Sure, yeah, as we see both teams just trying to control middle before they take any account on the tower right there. You see the nice pick from the Tiger Sharks off on KSU. They're going to try and push this number. There's a beautiful use of the Trizuka right there. Now with a 4-2 situation, the Tiger Sharks are about to make their first push right now.
Yeah, good use of Tri-Strikes to really slow down this push, allowing their teammates to respawn and get back in. You're seeing the Splash try and push up here. T-Tech managing to win that 1v1. As we are seeing them climb up this wall, getting in this flank, and this should be a decent push out of the Tiger Sharks. This is definitely a very snowball-heavy map, so once you break that first checkpoint, it can go ridiculously quickly. Great pick from the machine. I don't know what happened to the other members, but it's just the wrap it up. They were forced to back up. Fear doing a great job here of moving up with their teammates and just starting to really regain this mid area. And I will point out that not a checkpoint has been broken, and we are already a minute in.
Yep. Tower control was the mode where the Tiger Sharks got their first win of this set here, so we're going to see if they're able to keep that momentum, use that to show their expertise on this mode. They show that they're really comfortable on this mode on Sturgeon Shipyard, so let's see if they're able to do the same thing on Flounder with this early lead.
Yeah, Carbine going for this really deep flank. Gonna be able to find the Slosher. Not able to find the Slosher there. Thought they would be able to. My bad. Slosher moving forward here, gonna be able to find this machine. As we are seeing both teams just once again duking it out in mid, showing off how closely matched mechanically they are. A lot of these games have come down to team positioning rather than individual mechanics for sure.
Exactly, yeah. So it's been really interesting to see like how these teams are coordinated, to see like how they are positioned. A lot of like that team play itself is going to end up winning the game, especially with teams that are this close in match in terms of like mechanical ability here.
Yeah, we saw Carbine get off a great flank there that did stall out Tower. It did get Carbine taken out in the process, but stalling out Tower there completely prevented them from being able to break that checkpoint. We are seeing the Machine moving up here. Machine does so well on this map. It's a weapon that we see quite a few top-level teams using on it all the time. Slosher managing to get a great pick there. And KSU, they're just skirmishing here. Charger trying to find a good pick, not quite able to. Splash able to find a huge pick on the Nautilus there. Looking like they're going for the Slosher, not quite able to find them yet, but there they go! And this is going to be the start of a really solid push here out of KSU, especially with that crab tank coming out.
Yep, with KSU having that crab tank, having that E-leader, they're able to apply so much pressure now, especially they're able to just show how good they are in that advantage state, able to just keep getting these picks and keep pushing up on the tower, as once again, it's now 3 down on the Tiger Sharks, now 2 down. The Inkjet comes out, trying to maybe prevent a push, but the WildSharks are still able to keep this going, taking it all the way to the 33.
Yeah, like I said, this map is very snowbally. Once you break that first checkpoint, you can move so much faster. That downhill slope just works so much in your advantage. Great pick from the E-leader there, as we are seeing Tiger Sharks trying to get back into mid, but KSU is just doing such a great job of holding it down, really wanting to finish this set now, not wanting it to drag out, wanting to take this victory and call it for the week. Get ready for their classes tomorrow morning.
Yep, exactly right now. As you see the WildSharks there have the tower, they're going to try and just maintain this right now. They have a minute and a half to go. If they don't want to go for a knockout right here, they don't necessarily have to. They have to put themselves in a position where the Tiger Sharks are now the ones who have to feel desperate. Tiger Sharks need to be the ones making these pushes happen, making these plays, because only with a minute 15 to go and at a numbers disadvantage, it's going to be really hard for them to make anything happen, to stay alive in this set.
Yeah, one thing I'd really love to highlight here about what KSU is doing is Carbine and Fear are moving so well off of each other to control these spaces. And them moving off of each other is allowing their teammates to be able to move where they need to move and utilize their specials so much better. They did manage to get a singular point off of that push, as once again we are seeing Fear and Carbine here moving off of each other. Sadly, Fear does go down. Carbine trying to survive here. Looks like they're going to be able to, and take out the Nautilus in the process. That torpedo might throw a loop in their plan, but they do manage to stay up yet again as the Rapid is trying to find the right angle on them. But they are just using that crab tank on tower to try and brute force this checkpoint, and the trip strikes come out. And this might be a knockout here as they are able to just keep holding forward. But no, not quite. But that is a push all the way to 10, and there are only 30 seconds left in the game for the Tiger Sharks to try and turn this around.
Yep, and this is where you have to see the poise and the tenacity from the Tiger Sharks come out here. With 20 seconds to go, the beautiful Inkjet to get that pick right there. They have to make this push happen. Gotta make the most out of getting these fights, winning these fights, getting these numbers advantage, because you have to make this one last push to win this set, to stay alive, win in this set.
Yeah, and they do have some specials ready, but the Slosher going down to the Charger there is such a brutal thing, and one of the KSU members managed to sneak onto that tower and take the game, and that is going to be sent to the KSU WildSharks.
Fantastic play from both teams, but from almost all the games you could tell, KSU was just winning these team fights. They were able to push up on these advantages, keep getting these picks, keep getting these splats, just putting so much pressure on the Tiger Sharks. A beautiful offensive showcase that we've been seeing from Kansas State, and it shows a lot of promise for them going into the rest of their season.
Yeah, Splatoon 3 is definitely a game that we have seen so far deeply favor aggression, and KSU felt so comfortable in that space. So they come out on top here in the Battle of the Sharks. So where can they find you, Spicy?
So, I am a member of the Moravian Cyber Squids in CCA Division 6. If you want to follow me on Twitter at 2SpicyBM, feel free to do so. I'm mostly a Mario Kart player, also dabbling in Splatoon commentary and Splatoon play, but hey, if you want a mix of both, feel free to look me up.
And you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at NoxRaven42. And I believe that'll be it for today from CCA. Make sure you tune back in next weekend to see what new sets we have for you.
Yep, thank you all for watching, and we're hoping to see you again soon for some more collegiate cephalopod association action.